They say a home is your fortress, a sacred space built from sweat, dreams, and the promise of safety. But what happens when the monsters aren't just real? They know your address. What happens when the walls you've raised to shield you from the world become a cage, locking you in with the very darkness you fear? This isn't a story about monsters. It's about what happens when you decide to stop running from them and start fighting back. It all began in a place of pure bliss. ID just bought my first house, a cozy slice of the American dream in a quiet suburban neighborhood. After years of grinding, saving every penny, I finally had a place to call my own. Those first months were a whirlwind of joy, painting walls in soft blues, arranging furniture just so, soaking in the thrill of new beginnings. My little house was my sanctuary, my proof that I'd made it. I felt invincible, untouchable, safe. That illusion shattered on Halloween night. I was alone, curled up on the couch with a bowl of popcorn, half watching a cheesy horror flick. Outside, kids shrieked with laughter, darting from house to house in their costumes. Halloween was always my guilty pleasure. The safe scares, the predictable thrills. Then, through the glow of my front window, I saw him. A tall, lanky figure gliding down the middle of the street. His costume was simple but chilling. A featureless white mask and a sharp black suit. No trick-or-treater moved like that. Slow, deliberate, like a predator stalking prey. He stopped dead in front of my house, turned, and marched straight up my walkway. A single, sharp knock cracked through the quiet of my living room. My heart slammed against my chest. I crept to the door, barely breathing, and peered through the peephole. There he was, motionless, his blank mask fixed on the doorknob. Not the peephole, but the knob itself, as if he could will it to turn. Time stretched into a suffocating eternity. I didn't move. I didn't dare. After what felt like forever, he turned and vanished into the night. I told myself it was just a prank, some kid pushing the Halloween vibe too far. But that image, his faceless stare burning into my doorknob, clawed at my mind. I couldn't shake it. Hours later, the neighborhood had gone quiet, the trick-or-treaters long gone. The movie credits rolled, but sleep was out of the question. I sat in the dim glow of my living room trying to laugh it off. Then I heard it. A soft, rhythmic tick, 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 coming from the window right behind me. My blood turned to ice. Slowly, I turned. A silhouette loomed in my backyard, black against the faint moonlight. It was him. One gloved finger tapped the glass, slow and deliberate. Tick, tick, tick. Fear choked me, too deep for screams. I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking as I dialed 911. Whispering my address to the operator. As I spoke, the figure stopped tapping, lowered its hand, and melted into the shadows. By the time the cops arrived, there was nothing. No footprints, no signs of tampering. Just a terrified woman with a story that sounded ripped from a horror movie script. They were polite, but skeptical. It was Halloween, after all. The days that followed were a waking nightmare. Every creak of the house sent my heart racing. Sleep became a stranger. Then the phone calls started. Dozens of them day and night from blocked numbers. When I answered, there was no voice, just a heavy, listening silence that felt alive with menace. I stopped picking up, but the calls kept coming. Then, one night as I tried to lose myself in a video game, my phone buzzed with a text. No words, just an attachment. My hands trembled as I opened it. It was a photo. Of me, taken moments earlier from behind. My head, the glow of the TV screen lighting up my hair, my hands gripping the controller. The photo was taken from the dark corner of my own living room. Someone had been inside my house, standing feet away, and I hadn't even known. Panic clawed at my chest. I dropped the phone and tore through the house, checking every lock, every window. Then I saw it. My front door, triple-locked and deadbolted, was wide open, yawning into the night. Nausea hit me like a wave. I slammed it shut, threw the bolts, and backed away, gasping. That's when I heard it. Soft, deliberate footsteps from upstairs. Someone was walking across the hallway above me. My heart stopped. I wasn't alone. Grabbing the heaviest lamp I could find, I bolted to my bedroom, locked the door, and shoved a chair under the knob. I hid in the closet, clutching my phone, whispering to 911. As I waited, the footsteps descended the stairs. They stopped right outside my bedroom door. Silence pressed in, thick and suffocating. Then, a single, soft knock, the same knock from Halloween night. I bit back a sob, praying in the dark. After an agonizing minute, the footsteps retreated. The front door creaked open, then closed. When the police arrived, the house was empty again. I couldn't stay. I broke my lease, packed my life into boxes, and ran. I found a small house in the middle of nowhere, miles from civilization, where the quiet felt like armor. For a while, it worked. The silence of the countryside dulled the edges of my fear. I started to heal, to believe I'd outrun the nightmare. But the monsters weren't tied to a place, they were tied to me. One moonless night, I woke to a sound I couldn't place. A low, murmuring hum, like voices weaving together outside. Not one voice, but many, a chilling chorus of whispers carried on the wind. I crept to the window, heart pounding, and peered into the dark. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. Shapes circling my house, their whispers coiling around me like smoke. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, but before I could finish, the night exploded with the crash of shattering glass. My kitchen window. Then the front door buckled under a brutal kick. Dark figures poured into my home, moving with terrifying purpose. They weren't thieves, they were a wrecking crew. Furniture splintered, lamps shattered, picture frames crashed to the floor. The sounds of my life being torn apart echoed through the house. They were hunting me. Instinct took over. I scrambled out my bedroom window onto the icy roof, clinging to the shingles as I whispered to the dispatcher. Below, the chaos raged. I pressed myself flat, praying they wouldn't look up, the cold biting into my skin. As police sirens wailed in the distance, the destruction stopped. The figures fled into the woods, vanishing just as the first cruiser roared up my driveway. The cops found a house in ruins, but nothing was stolen. Not a single thing. This wasn't about theft. It was about terror. It was about me. In the aftermath, I was a shell. The police had no leads, no suspects, no answers. I was left with a fractured sense of reality and a fear so deep it became part of me. For months, I was a prisoner, not in a house, but in my own head. I flinched at shadows, dreaded silence, and lived in constant dread of being alone. They'd taken my home, my peace, my sense of safety. They wanted to break me, and for a while, they almost did. But one sleepless night, staring into the dark, I found something. A spark. Their weapon was my fear. Their victory was my surrender. And I decided, with every ounce of my being, that I would not let them win. It was the fight of my life. I started small, forcing myself to sit in a dark room for 1 minute, then 2. I went to therapy, spilling the horrors I could barely think about. I signed up for self-defense classes, not just to learn how to fight, but to reclaim my body, my strength, my power. I began to rebuild, not a house, but myself. I learned that a true fortress isn't made of brick or locks. It's forged in grit, cemented with courage, and lit by an unshakable belief in your own resilience. They could smash my windows, kick down my doors, but they couldn't touch the core of who I was, not unless I let them. I still don't know who they were or why they chose me. I may never know. The not knowing used to be a prison, but I've made peace with it. My story isn't Acre Tea about the man in the mask or the mob that tore through my home. It's about the mornings after, when I chose to get up, to breathe, to live, not as a victim, but as the architect of my own future. The scars they left aren't wounds. They're battle maps, proof of my survival. They remind me every day that no darkness, no matter how deep, can snuff out the smallest light. Not as long as you're the one holding the match.